Have you ever paused to wonder why you think the way you do? Why you feel certain emotions in specific situations? Why you make the choices you make? Or why you react to the world around you in unique ways? What drives your motivations, your fears, your joys, and your anxieties? Every single one of us carries within us the most complex and fascinating system known to humanity, the human mind. It's the engine of our thoughts, the wellspring of our emotions, and the architect of our behaviors. Yet, for all its profound influence, it often remains a grand mystery, even to ourselves. We interact with others every day, yet truly understanding their actions and reactions can feel like deciphering an ancient code. But what if there was a way to systematically explore this inner landscape, to understand the underlying forces that shape not just our own lives, but the lives of everyone around us? Welcome to Mind Mastery, a new series from the Knowledge Compass dedicated to exploring the intricate workings of the human psyche. Our journey begins today with the foundational science that attempts to unravel these very questions, psychology. At its core, psychology is the scientific study of the mind and behavior. It's not just about therapy or analyzing dreams, though those are aspects. Psychology is a vast and rigorous field that employs scientific methods to observe, analyze, and understand the intricate patterns of thought, emotion, perception, memory, and action that define the human experience. It seeks to answer fundamental questions like, how do we learn? Why do we suffer? What makes us happy? How do we interact with each other? For your own self-development, understanding the basics of psychology is profoundly empowering. It sharpens your self-awareness, enhances your empathy for others, improves your relationships, and provides tools for navigating life's challenges with greater insight and resilience. It is about gaining a deeper appreciation for the incredible complexity that lies beneath the surface of everyday life. To begin, let's clarify what psychology aims to study. When we talk about the mind, we're referring to our internal, subjective experiences, our thoughts, emotions, perceptions, memories, dreams, and motivations. These are things we can't directly observe in others. Behavior, on the other hand, refers to any outward action or reaction we can observe and measure: speaking, walking, eating, smiling, crying, or even specific brain activity. Psychology seeks to understand the intricate interplay between these two, how our internal mental processes influence our external behaviors, and how our behaviors, in turn, can shape our minds. Psychology isn't just about describing what happens. It has for primary goals: first, describe. The first step is to observe and document phenomena. For example, describing patterns of anxiety, or how children typically develop language skills at certain ages. It's about systematically documenting what is happening. Second, explain. Once described, psychologists seek to understand why these phenomena occur. Why do some people experience anxiety, while others in similar situations do not? Why does language acquisition follow a specific pattern? This involves developing theories and hypotheses. Third, predict. Based on explanations, psychology aims to anticipate future thoughts and behaviors. Can we predict, based on certain early experiences, whether someone is more likely to develop a particular coping mechanism? Can we predict how groups might react to specific stimuli? Fourth, and finally, change or control. Ultimately, much of psychological research aims to apply knowledge to influence, modify, or improve behavior for the benefit of individuals or society. This might involve developing therapeutic interventions for mental health conditions, designing educational programs, or creating healthier work environments. This goal is about using psychological understanding to promote positive change. These four goals form the foundation of psychological inquiry, guiding research from its earliest days to the present. While the human mind has fascinated thinkers for millennia, psychology as a distinct scientific discipline is relatively young, emerging largely in the late 19th century. Its roots, however, lie deep in philosophy and early medicine. For centuries, philosophers pondered questions like, is the mind separate from the body the mind-body problem? Are we born with innate knowledge, or do we learn everything from experience, nature versus nurture? Thinkers like Plato and Aristotle in ancient Greece, and later René Descartes in the Renaissance, laid intellectual groundwork by debating perception, memory, and the nature of consciousness. The true birth of scientific psychology is often attributed to Wilhelm Wundt. In 1879, he established the first formal psychology laboratory in Leipzig, Germany. Wundt believed that consciousness could be broken down into basic elements, much like chemists broke down compounds. His approach, known as structuralism, involved using a method called introspection, where trained participants would carefully observe and report their own conscious experiences, sensations, feelings, images in response to stimuli. While introspection proved to be too subjective for rigorous science, Wundt's emphasis on systematic observation and experimentation marked a pivotal shift. Soon after, American psychologist William James challenged structuralism with his approach, functionalism. James focused not on the structure of the mind, but on the purpose or function of mental processes and behaviors. He asked, how do our thoughts and behaviors help us adapt to our environment and survive? Functionalism had a lasting impact on applied psychology, particularly in education. Perhaps the most influential and controversial early figure was Sigmund Freud. Developing psychoanalysis in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Freud proposed that unconscious drives, conflicts, and early childhood experiences profoundly shape our personality and behavior. His theories, while criticized for lacking empirical testability, revolutionized the understanding of mental illness and introduced concepts like the unconscious mind, defense mechanisms, and the impact of dreams, profoundly influencing therapy and popular culture. These early pioneers laid the groundwork, but the field was just beginning to truly diversify. Liking this so far, smash that like button and subscribe for more. You won't want to miss what's next. As psychology matured, different perspectives or schools of thought emerged, each offering a unique lens through which to understand the mind and behavior. Modern psychology is a rich tapestry woven from these diverse viewpoints. Behaviorism, early 20th century, pioneered by figures like Ivan Pavlov, John B. Watson, and B. F. Skinner. Behaviorism reacted against the unobservable mind. Behaviorists argued that psychology should only study observable behavior and how it's learned through environmental interactions. They emphasized principles of conditioning, where behaviors are learned through association. Pavlov's dogs associating a belt with food or reinforcement. Skinner's experiments showing how rewards shape behavior. Behaviorism brought scientific rigor and a focus on measurable outcomes, profoundly influencing areas like therapy, for example, behavior modification, and education. Humanistic psychology, mid-20th century, emerging as a third point after psychoanalysis and behaviorism. Humanism, led by thinkers like Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow, emphasized human potential, free will, and the importance of self-actualization, the innate drive to grow and fulfill one's unique potential. Humanists focused on subjective experience, personal responsibility, and the search for meaning. They championed the idea that individuals are inherently good and strive for growth, influencing client-centered therapy and positive psychology. Cognitive psychology, mid-20th century. Present, this cognitive revolution shifted focus back to the mind, but with scientific tools. Cognitive psychologists study mental processes like thinking, memory, perception, problem-solving, language, and attention. They often compare the mind to a computer, processing information. This perspective has led to breakthroughs in understanding learning disabilities, memory improvement techniques, and how biases affect our judgments, profoundly impacting fields like education, artificial intelligence, and human-computer interaction. Biological or neuroscience perspective. Present, this perspective examines the physiological basis of behavior and mental processes. It explores how the brain, nervous system, genetics, hormones, and biological processes influence our thoughts, emotions, and actions. It asks, how do neurotransmitters affect mood? What brain regions are active during decision-making? Advances in brain imaging technology have made this a rapidly growing and influential field. Sociocultural perspective present. This perspective emphasizes the profound impact of social and cultural factors on behavior and mental processes. It explores how our cultural norms, societal expectations, family structures, gender roles, and ethnic backgrounds shape our thoughts, feelings, and actions. It highlights that behavior is not just individual, but deeply embedded in a social context. These perspectives are not mutually exclusive. Modern psychologists often adopt an eclectic approach, drawing insights from multiple perspectives to gain a comprehensive understanding of any given phenomenon. They are simply different lenses through which to view the extraordinary complexity of human experience, from the ancient philosophical inquiries into consciousness to the cutting-edge neuroscience of today. Psychology offers a powerful framework for understanding ourselves and others. It delves into the mysteries of our internal worlds, our thoughts, feelings, and memories, while rigorously examining our observable behaviors. By understanding the goals of psychology, to describe, explain, predict, and change, and by appreciating the diverse perspectives that contribute to this field, you gain invaluable tools for navigating your own life. This knowledge cultivates self-awareness, allowing you to recognize your own patterns and motivations. It fosters empathy, helping you understand the complex inner worlds of others. Ultimately, it equips you to lead a more insightful, connected, and fulfilling life. This is the essence of mind mastery. Which psychological perspective resonates most with you, and why? Share your thoughts in the comments below. This was just the introduction to a fascinating journey. In our next episode of Mind Mastery, we'll explore L1.2, the brain, our control center, basic neuroscience, understanding how our minds and behaviors change across the lifespan. To continue unlocking the secrets of the human psyche, subscribe to the Knowledge Compass and hit the notification bell. Share this video with anyone eager to better understand themselves and the world. Thank family and friends for exploring the mind with us.